And so your adrenal glands are the little glands that sit on top of your kidneys, and they are responsible for producing cortisol, and that is your stress hormone. They're also responsible for producing things like norepinephrine and adrenaline. And so if your adrenals, when you come into this midlife transition, are already overwhelmed, like meaning they're already producing too much cortisol, or they are not producing enough to keep up with the demands of the stress in your life, they don't have the capacity to support that transition very well at all. And this is where you come into midlife and it's almost like you feel like the wheels are falling off the bus. Now, it's not just, I want to be very clear as I'm having this conversation, is it's not just the adrenal glands. There are other things that are related. So hormones don't work in isolation. And next week's episode is going to be all about the thyroid. And the reality is if you have a thyroid issue, you likely have an adrenal issue. And if you have an adrenal issue, you likely have some form of a thyroid issue. And so again, hormones don't work in isolation. So I want to be clear as you're listening to this, it's not just the adrenals, but the adrenals are one of the systems in the body that you can really truly support to help yourself during this time. And so in conventional medicine, in conventional Western medicine, the adrenal glands are only looked at in extremes. So Cushing's would be too much cortisol. And I'm not talking just too much cortisol that I would see on a dried urine test for comprehensive hormones or a Dutch test. I'm talking like really extremely high cortisol. Or Addison's, which is really, really low. And even someone like myself who had low output for a long time, it was not even it wasn't close to the Addison's range. And so most women are not in the extremes. And Western medicine, the only way that they have to test cortisol is in one moment in time through blood, which I've talked about before, virtually tells you nothing. So again, when I'm doing a Dutch test, we are able to see a woman's cortisol over the course of a 24-hour period. That gives us so much information. We're also able to see how much cortisol she is producing and then how much cortisol she has available. So most women are somewhere in the middle feeling off, but they're being told that everything looks normal because the other way that the Western medicine will assess adrenals indirectly, like they won't tell you they're assessing adrenals, but thyroid. So by the time a woman has a diagnosis of hyperthyroidism or hypothyroidism, so either overactive or underactive, or Hashimoto's, which is the autoimmune diagnosis of thyroid, she has had an adrenal issue going on for quite some time. It's just that they don't have any way to test it. And again, they don't have any way to treat it. So, whereas as a functional health practitioner, when I'm working with women, we're looking at nutrition, we're looking at lifestyle, we're looking at movement, we're looking at circadian rhythm, we're looking at all of these things that impact adrenals. That's not what Western medicine is there for. And so I'm speaking to the woman right now who has been told all of your labs are normal, yet you feel anything but. Looking at your adrenals is going to be super, super key.